Rhode Island here. Thanks everybody for watching and listening. We have a very special guest today. As always, we're talking about the film Blood, starring Skeet Ulrich, Michelle Monaghan, and of course, June Wilde. June B. Wilde, thank you for your time today. It's a pleasure to meet you.
And you as well, Brett. Nice to meet you as well.
Well, this movie is a wild ride. We saw it a couple weeks ago, and I tell you, it checks off all the boxes as far as genre, storytelling. I mean, it's crazy. And of course, you and the cast are just spectacular and top notch. Let's talk about it. How was this project for you, and what interested you in it? Because you have done a lot of things, but as I mentioned at the beginning, this is a very different type of story than I think we've been told.
Right. I had an offer. I was already working with Brad Anderson on Debris, and
Yeah.
then COVID hit, and we had to put that on a fold and hold. And so then fast forward, now we're out of COVID, and I got an audition offer uh, from the casting director, and so I popped some scenes on tape, and voila, there we were in Winnipeg shooting with Brad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a great director. I mean, he has done some really cool projects.
yeah. I mean, he really has spoiled me, Brett, for everybody. I mean, he really is that good. He's one of those people that just gets in there and does the job. And he works with Bjorn, his cinematographer,
Yeah.
um, a lot. And you can tell like there's a real synergy and energy between those two. So yeah. And then I read the script, and then I was all in. I mean, the script is, it is, it's a drama. It's a family drama with these, with this horror interweaved into the story.
Yeah, you have
Yeah.
all the things like what extent would a parent go to for a child as being a parent? There's that aspect of it. And then everything else that comes along with it. And, it's interesting. Skeet said something in our conversation that similar to what you said, but he also said, he goes, I'm surprised that he even knew who I was. And I was like, that's so interesting to hear that coming from an actor who has been in this business for over 20 some years and is still excited to work, even though they've done some like some of the biggest projects on the planet. What was your experience working with the crew and these actors, and really just getting in and getting your hands dirty and having a short window to tell a big story, and just it seems from what I've heard, running and gunning.
Yeah, I mean, my experience was nothing but positive. Obviously, I did not meet Skeet because none of my scenes were with him, but I
Right.
worked with Michelle. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean, I just have nothing but incredible things to say about her. My role required a lot of, I mean, it was very emotional and physical. And so, I just really felt like she had my back the whole way.
That's cool.
It was a team. Everybody was working together. There wasn't really, well, were no bad seeds,
Yeah.
and that's what you want when you're creating.
Yeah.
Is yeah, you want it to be like that,
You don't want it to
So
be just work, which it can
mhm,
be, I guess, from what I'm told.
yeah. Yeah. Well, yes, and you are correct.
That's very cool. So, where did the journey begin for you as an actor and storyteller? Again, you have a really great filmography. Where did you become interested in this? How did that happen?
Well, for me, it was, really it was when I was 8 years old, stood on stage, did something, people laughed, and that was it. I mean, I've always known what I wanted to do. It wasn't like I went, well, maybe I'll try this. I just innately knew that this is what I was meant to do here on earth. I've tried to do other things. It was never, I just wasn't happy. So, I just continued to do that, and I continued to pursue it with with vigor and with focus. I went to New York. I took my formal training in New York City. I've trained with a lot of really great acting teachers, and you know, uh, just the whole key here is to stay in. I think that's what, it takes to be an actor. Stay in long enough and magic happens.
Yeah, hard work works. And the fact that you have continual education, as training and classes, I've talked to just a wide variety of people at all different levels, and yet the majority still take acting classes. Some of them have the same coaches and teachers that they had in high school. I mean, they're working on massive projects and they're like running lines and doing scenes, maybe with other people who are on the same type of projects. But looking at your career and all the things that you've done, is there like a landmark project or one thing, or has it maybe been a progression of stepping stones where you knew you were solidified and meant to be in the business? You just alluded to it a few minutes ago, but is there maybe a project along the way that stands out to you that really put the nail in the cross or the coffin, so to speak, and said, I'm so glad I'm doing this and not, waiting tables. Not that that's bad, but or maybe working in an office like an 8 to 5.
Hmm. I don't know that it was anything specific. It's always going to be the ones that are, you get the deal memo and it's like, oh my goodness, I'm on a show now. And, I know what I'm doing from now until, the middle of next year, or,
Yeah.
those kinds of things. But, Brett, I really believe that for me, it was one day I woke up and I said, oh, I've been doing this for a while. I don't know what it was. And I really took ownership of what I was doing.
Wow.
And I don't think it was anything spectacular. I think it was just this moment where I realized, oh, I have nothing to prove. Oh, okay. And that kind of was the turning point for me where, bigger projects came, and, more regular work came, and that kind of thing. So I don't think it was any aha. I think it was just a moment.
I love it. Well, that's great. Well, the film is Blood, which is available in select theaters and to stream. Congratulations on this project and much success. All of it's well deserved. If you haven't seen the film, I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. Has a fantastic cast, including our guest. Thank you for your time. It was a pleasure to meet you today.
Thank you. Thank you, Brett. Nice to meet you too.
Likewise.